Peace and divine blessings, family. Welcome to another class of Indigenous Voodoo University. Today we're going to be covering dream magic, as hence you see me in my sleepwear. So stay tuned while I break down the power of dream magic. So before we begin, what is a dream? A dream is the crossroads of the chaos realm in which it is interfaced with the individual's experience. Again, a dream is the crossroads of the chaos realm in which it's interfaced with the individual's experience. Now, dreams, there are three different types of dreams. We have first, automotion, 2, signs, and 3, contact. Again, we have automotion, signs, and contact. 3 levels to the dream world. So the first type of dream, automotion. Automotion deals with what a person sees throughout the day, their physical activities. It's a muscle memory, which means they're just replaying what they did. They work so much, their whole realm, all of their energy is on that and mostly that alone. That's what they'll see. Now, you have to think of it like this: work, less sleep. So it's the same way if you had a car. If you don't have the battery that gets enough charge, then it won't be able to jumpstart. It's the same thing with your body. If you don't have that enough hours of sleep, you won't really be able to get into the realm of dreams. So the second type of dream is signs. Signs are the spirit world trying to make a little, hey, I'm over here, trying to get a message across to you. They're trying to let you know something's up and you need to pay attention. Now, first and foremost, if you have dreams, a lot of times spirits come with animals. They come in the form or shape of animals, okay? It's something comfortable, it's something a lot of times you may be used to, so on. One of the first ones is, and I had to take notes, y'all, because I didn't want to miss nothing. First off, you have birds/butterflies. Those usually are trying to get a spiritual message across to you, okay? So in some way, shape, or form, they're letting you know, I am here, I'm around, which you may even see that in your physical realm. So correlation, they're letting you know they're here. Now, there's another function with dogs. If in a dream you see dogs are barking at you, then it's your time to seek out spiritual knowledge. Barking, them coming out like that, is saying a message of you need to seek about something. There's something you need to know. It can be a spiritual knowledge. It may be the deciphering of something you've been feeling, confirmation. And most of the times you get that in a reading or something of some sorts. Now, the other function will be the snake. See, lots of people have dreams about snakes, but it's different kinds. It's split in between 2. The first one, if you see a snake is biting you, then 9 times out of 10 you're being attacked. They're trying to get your attention because there's something you need to get cautious and take heed about. The other side of it is if you see a snake comes up and it's not harming you, you don't feel any ill energy around it, then that is a sign of being chosen. It speaks of the Dambala Aida Wedo force, that cosmic, spiritual cosmic energy that is trying to tell you you are chosen, that you have purpose, and you must go find out what that purpose truly is. So when we talk about the third kind of dream, this is contact. Contact, of course, is when you are in a good connection with the spirit. By this time, we're talking an advanced level of knowledge, like way up there. First off, things like a reading, which now you know which particular spirits are in your court. Also, 3 gates when you know where they're positioned. You've also done petitioning, altar work. Your functions are strong. The bond, the connection is very strong. And most of the times, how you'll know too is that they will come in a real raw form to you in your dreams. That's also a huge sign of knowing that you're in good contact with them. They're not going to sugarcoat, because many people think that, for example, if we talk about Damballa is going to come as a reptilian, not just a regular little snake that you think you're going to see. If you also see Malasa won't come in just the little children you're used to seeing or whatever. They're going to come as grays, or what we call grays, the little people, the little aliens. Okay? When you see Seelen won't be all beautiful and whimsical and all of that. You're going to see the sirens or Seelens as Nomos. They're going to be sea-looking like creatures, and that's not always the prettiest of things. Can be very pale, may have sharp teeth even. It could be a different dynamic, not what you see, online, if you will, right? So these are the kinds of things that let you know, because at that particular point, you have the function that they'll come to you in that way because you can't have any fear. They know that by this level, you know certain things, and they're looking at you to have an accountability to know that if they let themselves be in their raw form, you won't have any fear or any problems with that. You're secure in your ability to know. Because when you go into the jumping realm, you have your full real world consciousness and you have no fear. You can do whatever it is that you want on that side. There are no boundaries. You are fully aware of your abilities. Okay? You have this thing where now no laws apply. You literally can fly. There's so much that you can do. You're seeing spirit in its real raw form. You have no boundaries. Okay? So here's the thing. Spirit basically allows you to become one with them. It's like a merging that takes place to a point now that you become a demigod. Okay, you have enough light codes to be able to penetrate these realms at ease, at will, how you want, when you want. Okay, that's the whole power. A person that jumps could never be in fear. So basically by now, you know what you need to know, and you know how to go in there and facilitate with their help. Because again, they're there. And the reason why you may see them or feel their presence because they're protecting you. Remember, in the jumping realm, there are gates and areas that you reach that if it's not them, that can protect you, that can pull you out of some certain crazy situations, then you may not make it back. Yeah, real life. Jumping sounds good, but there's another side to it that is very serious. And that's the reason you must know the law. You have to know which ones are with you. Your spirit guides, the strength, the power that's behind you, around you is so vital. Many people, okay, for example, people that go crazy many a times when there's magical functions involved, a lot of times that happens in the dream world. They see something or someone in that dream world that comes in and does something specific that when they come back, they're never ever the same. It's like a spirit switch. So the real energy of that person stays locked and trapped in that dimension, and then they come back a completely different person. This is the power that jumping has, but it also has its pros and cons to it. Meaning, think about it. The ancestors, the law, all that, they will never let you get to that level if you have fear, if you haven't done certain protocols. That's why we always say it's levels to this thing. When you get to that level, you are acting as a demigod. And that is serious play. You can do a lot of good, but you can also get caught up as well if you don't know what you're doing or if you don't set yourself up properly. So we move deeper into our dream magic by preparing a specific dish that you can use to up and boost that astral travel. Okay, first, what I am speaking of is plantain porridge, okay, which is also known in Creole as la bouillie bonane. Now, this has always been a dish that's been here in the Caribbean. It is a native tradition. Plantain, of course, has always been a cash crop in the Caribbean specifically. So, with that said, it has very serious advantages, aside from health benefits, of course, right? Plantain's always good for digestion and all that. When it's mixed with a couple of other secret ingredients, it can be a powerhouse before going to sleep, as something that we call it souper, or what you would have as your last meal before you go to bed. Now, ingredients-wise, of course, you just need a plain old green plantain, okay? You're gonna also get yourself some evaporated milk. Carnation milk is one of my favorite. You also, when it comes down to the actual, spices, first you can get yourself a little vanilla extract. You won't need too much, but we're gonna use it. And the major spice involved is cinnamon. Cinnamon is the key ingredient to all of this. Plantain, cinnamon. Now, you can use cinnamon sticks. You can get yourself some cinnamon powder, or these are one of my favorites, but it's kind of seasonal, which is a pumpkin pie spice. It does have cinnamon, ginger, star anise, that kind of function. So these are all stimulating herbs, which will help the energy in the pineal when it's time for bed. So that is what we're about to get into. So what we have here, of course, is the plantain. We're about to take off the skin so we can get to the thing that we need, which is the meat of the situation. So all you're going to do is just, of course, be careful and easily go ahead with your knife, and nice and easy. Okay, get rid of this skin. Take your time. You don't even get in a rush. You don't want to cut yourself. Just take it easy. Some parts will feel a little bit more harder than others. You just have to take your time to find a soft spot to start. That's at the top. Okay, so we have about 1.5 chopped up plantain, and we have just about 20 ounces of water. I'm going to use my Ninja Nutri blender, blaster, that good shit, to actually basically blend it up so that we can get ready for the cooking part of it, okay? So you can put it on high, get it on puree mode, just so it can be as soft as possible. So you'd want to put your mode in puree, okay? Put that in there. I actually have to plug up. Let me plug up. And so now you have your puree plantain, okay, looking nice and smooth in there. You're gonna go ahead and put your stove on high, turn it on high, get your little medium saucepan so that you can go ahead and start getting a little cooking going. Alright, we're gonna let this kind of simmer. You can stir it a little. Nothing's going on now, it's just pretty much the plantain is getting nice and smooth and soft to get ready for everything else, okay? So we're just in the cooking part of the plantain right now. And not forgetting to mention, you can use a little bit of olive oil, just about a spoonful, okay? A tablespoonful. Or if you don't have this, you can also use margarine or butter, basically. You just take 1 scoop of butter. It will do the same thing to keep everything nice and soft when you start adding your other ingredients, okay? And now that we have that going, we're going to use our carnation milk. You can use the whole function, the whole can. And just start simmering and putting it in there. As you're doing that, you should be stirring. As you're doing that, you should be stirring. As you're doing it, you should be stirring. As you're doing it, you should be stirring. Just to make sure everything stays nice and soft, because you don't want any lumpiness in it. Nice, supposed to be a nice smooth dish. Okay? So yeah. And once we get that going, again, it's gonna just be cooking for a little bit, a couple minutes, maybe about 5 minutes or so, 4 to 5 minutes before we put the other ingredients in. And so with that said, first things first, we go in and we put our cinnamon, okay? Just to start so that when it cooks, it'll cook with it. Alright. And you could just use intuition with the cinnamon, to be honest. Some people like a lot, some people don't. It's all preference. However, with the vanilla, this should also just be just a spoon. Okay, just a spoon of that. Put that in there like that. And then we're also going to be needing some sugar. So also, of course, so you can keep it nice and sweet, you can go ahead and add in some coconut palm sugar. It's absolutely my favorite. It's good for you, and that little coconut edge will make it even taste better. So you can go ahead and just put about 2 scoops of that in there, okay? And again, keep stirring. It's all about stirring those ingredients in there. It's starting to look nice and brown and creamy and yummy. Yeah. That's that good stuff. Okay. Remember, we had the raw cinnamon sticks. Now, since everything is nice and brown and creamy and ready to go, you can just drop just about 2 of them in there, okay? And just kind of let that settle. We're gonna be cooking this on low for the next 10 minutes. So you'll go from your high, medium to the lowest possible and let that sit for about 10 minutes, okay? It could be covered or uncovered. It really doesn't matter because it's fine. It's not the kind of thing that technically needs humidity to cook. So yes, you get that going, and the rest is about to be what's going to be in your stomach very soon. Okay, you can let it sink in there and just kind of get that finishing touch. It's nice and creamy, as you can see. All right, and this is about to be it.
Go.
So voila, we have the finished product. Okay, now you see I have 2 slices of bread here because you can tear up into little pieces, like shred the bread, put a little butter on it, then shred it and put it in there. As an Aisha traditional dish, we do that, but it is really optional. You can have it just the way it is without any bread. It is completely optional, but the yum yum is ready to go into your tum, okay? Again, eating this at least about 2 hours, hour and a half to 2 hours before you go to bed. Of course, you want to digest, you want to have all that going, would be excellent to help you along with your setup and everything getting ready to go on to that other side of your dream magic. So, as we just got done preparing that wonderful meal, that wonderful function for bed, that plantain porridge, that la brie bonne, we have to remember a couple of key things here. First off, that deals with decalcification of the pineal gland. Those herbs, those stimulating, that cinnamon, okay, it does something to that, it stimulates. So therefore, most people who don't dream, it's because their third eye is calcified, which basically means this is something along with the other functions, which we mentioned before, dealing with your environment, okay? As you can see here, the reason why I did this with all these colors on, okay, with this whole pink and white and all this going, is because, as il faut is my head noir, okay? You also do have one to your right and to your left, etc. But again, you get to know those things when you take your reading, your 3 gates reading, etc. What's important to remember is everything down to the sheets, meaning the sheets were pink and white, my clothing was pink and white, what I wore on my head crown chakra to go to bed wasn't pink. You understand? So again, this is a whole, you have to have the whole package basically before you can say that you're really going into your dream magic. Okay, so let's not forget that. The third eye being calcified is, again, the reason why most people do not dream, okay? What you're eating, how you're going to bed, what you're wearing to go to bed, how you're positioning yourself, all of these things lead to not being in the proper alignment to be able to dive deeper into the dream magic, into your dream world, the dream realms altogether, okay? Now, when it comes to what was on your bedside, okay, to get you ready to go into your dream magic, remember we talked about a couple of things. First off, you had the cup of coffee sweetened. You had another cup of coffee unsweetened. You had the bottle of Pima, the rum that Gede, okay, clearly, pardon, not rum really, but clearly, if you will, for the Gede. you had the candle. That candle that was shaped in a cross, which I will have a dream kit on sale where you can get a couple of the goods and items, like of course these cups, the candles, so on and so forth. But these are all essential because again, you never know when there's an ancestor lurking around. You want to make sure that you are prepared at all times. Most of the time, because an ancestor was a familiar face, somebody you know before they passed on, or even if it isn't familiar, but period, you're going to most likely get messages from people you either have seen before, the ones you haven't seen before may just happen to be an ancestor too, coming out to say hello, giving you a message. So that coffee represents giving the dead what it is they need. Of course, a bottle of Pima, Gedi, we know this is Bawon, Rishi. You're crossing over into another dimension, literally. You're turning off this physical, you're going into the world of the spiritual. Dream realms are dimensions, okay? And that is powerful. So again, after having the particular one with the water, you have your coffee, you have your candle lit, you're ready to go. The last thing you need to be very aware of is why you actually have this bottle of the Pima. We call it the Bute Pima, right? We know it's forget it, but what are you gonna do with it? Here's a trick, here's a tip, big tip. What you're gonna do is before you leave and you have everything set up, and before you leave to go off into your astral realms to go to sleep, you're gonna use this bottle. You're just gonna need to take a little simple 2 fingers, put it over and when you're done, you're gonna go ahead and just put a sign of the cross on your forehead, okay, and say kwa la kwa sembo, all right, and that will trigger off some energy for your pineal gland, for your third eye. By then, you're now taking the coffee and water. Remember, whatever we give to the ancestors, we have to be prepared to take a little bit out of that. So if it's the coffee, you take a little sip of the sweetened, a sip, not a whole gulp because we're going to bed. We don't need coffee to go to bed, right? Just a little sip of the sweet, on est avec respect. A little sip of the unsweet, on est avec respect. A little sip of the water, on est avec respect. You put everything down and you are now complete. Now mind you, by this time you've eaten what you needed to eat. You are dressed how you need to be dressed. Your sheets are how they need to be. You know which energy already rules to know what color coordination to do. And then to top and sweeten things, you have this, which is something for direct power and energy to your third eye. This is a help and an aid to get you into those realms, okay? So again, you just cannot go wrong. Once you have your setup, you are gearing yourself for a certain level of success in your dream magic. And that's why we're here. Now let us not forget the power of positioning our bodies to get ready to go into flight mode. Okay, in dream magic, that is so important. So let's discuss the four different positions we need before we can take ourselves where we need to go. Let's explain them and break them down. Now, number one is when you sleep on your back. When you sleep on your back, sadly, that's where a lot of the lower realm and lower spirits get a chance to come in and bother you and become a nuisance to you. That's where your nightmares are happening, sleep paralysis even. This is where it can be a little frightening and not truly how you want to position yourself in dream magic when it's time to go to sleep. All right, so that's the first one. The second one would be your left side. So if you are a lefty, okay, you will be sleeping closer to your right side. And if you're a righty, you'll sleep to your left. So let's discuss them, okay? So again, like I said, if you're a left, you'll be sleeping to your right. If you're a right, you'll be sleeping to your left. However, there are rules of thumb with that. And how it's broken down is, first off, if it is your left side that you're sleeping on, okay, you have to make note that this is a type of dream where you can get very random events. Things feel a little bit not so much in control. You may feel a little restricted as to what you can and cannot do. It will feel very random. The event, you may see people you never saw before. There may be things that it's like, Don't know where this is coming from. I'm kind of in the air. It's a little bit more airy, a little bit more confused at times. So you have to keep that in mind. Now, when you go over to the right side of your dreams, this is where it gets a little more interesting. You have more connected dreams at that point. You're a little bit more in control of what's going on. You feel that the environment or where you're around feels a little bit more, how can we say, that you remember that, or there's something about that feels familiar even. It feels comfortable. It's not as jittery as if it was the other side. So remember that the right side has an energy it bears, the left side has an energy it bears as well. So those are those. That goes 1, 2, and 3. Let's go to the fourth position. The fourth position is laying on your stomach. Now, laying on your stomach holds a lot of power, more than you know. Most people, fun fact, most people who are jumpers tend to sleep on their stomachs. They tend to sleep on their stomachs. Why is that? Well, simple. The point where you get into sleeping on your stomach has a lot of significance. You ever wonder and see when Superman flies or anything happens up there, they're on their stomach, right? Those dreams are a lot more controllable. You have more awareness and more control as to where you can navigate into the dream realm. Okay, so sleeping on your stomach, it avoids pesky energy, nightmare type lower spirits and lower dimensional frequencies. It gives you more power to be able to navigate as if you were literally, as if you were literally on some Superman-ish, you know? And that is powerful. Most people who are at that position, it's all about what you've been doing in the realm connecting with spirit. Let's make no mistake here. Sleeping on your stomach doesn't automatically mean you're going to be some jumper. What it means is that after the prerequisites of what you need to get to jumper status, then positioning yourself will have something to do with the overall product and the overall finish of where you will go in your dream state. So it's very important to remember that part of it all. It doesn't guarantee it, but it will be the proper position when you get into that science. You will find it to be even more powerful for you, more controllable for you as you reach in that state. So this is jumper state I'm talking about, okay? However, sleeping on your stomach, again, after you've done what you need to do, will take you to those higher heights. To those higher heights. Again, it all falls back to the connection of spirit. You can't truly say that dreams aren't working for you or you're not communicating with the ancestors in the dreams if you don't follow a certain protocol. Just as we have a morning routine, there is a go to sleep, there is a dream routine, I like to call it. A dream routine. And there are certain things, once you apply them and you start making it a daily practice as much as possible, you will see a difference in how you're dreaming, the kind of messages you're getting. And again, as Indigenous Voodoo members, you're able to come up with at least 2 dreams per month to discuss the ones that keep coming or the ones that are really sticking out to you. You feel something when you think about that dream, it links to something and you feel it's itching, you want to get confirmation, you'll be able to do all of that. So this is the reason why practicing your dream magic is going to take you and the confirmations you get from spirit to a whole new level. It's about leveling up in our dream magic because there's so many signs and communication that the ancestors want to make with us. So who are we to stop them? We must position and align ourselves accordingly. So, Indigenous Voodoo members, also know and look out for attached to this video, you will receive affirmations because we know sounds, words, those are frequencies. What you're saying before you go into that dream world holds a lot of weight too. And I'll be giving you basically, or whispering in your ear, right? The appropriate function or word to say so you can go right into that particular realm. When we put all of this and combine this together, this is some powerful magic. This is something right here that you hold on to this, I guarantee you, in the next 6 to 8 weeks, your dreams will have taken leaps and bounds from where it was to where it will be. Okay? So again, we will have the affirmations. I will have the candles, those crossed candles on sale. I will have pretty much a dream kit, if you will, on sale. There's some things and essentials I feel that within that, again, like these cups, the candle. It'll be a dressed candle that has certain herbs and oils that deal with going into the dream state, the smell, the aroma, if you will. And then again, of course, most importantly, Bouteille Piment. Okay, now this one, as you can see, it's not just the Bouteille Piment by itself. I have the mouchoir. It's prayed over, it's sung over, it's consecrated. It is a blister bottle ready to hit you if you need it. But again, I did give a freebie from a long time ago on how you can make your own. So it's all a matter of preference. If you want it done by me, fine. But I did give you guys instructions a quite time ago on how to go ahead and make a Bouteille Piment for the getting. All right, by now we should have this locked and loaded, ready to go near our bedsides to sleep at night. Okay? And for those who have gated altars, you may put it on the altar, and then you take it off the altar when it's time to go into the dream world. You, of course, you give that little 3 times respect, and then you can take it inside with you where you sleep and where you dwell at night. So, very powerful, very important information was shared on this video of dream magic. This is Mambo Hathor Urzuli Akhenaten reporting for duty. So you guys go out there and utilize this magic. And of course, I love to hear the sweet, wonderful, powerful dreams. Well, sometimes they're not so sweet, but the powerful dreams that you will be having. And I love and await to see the feedback. Okay? So peace and love to my Indigenous Voodoo members and all the ones that'll just be coming in. It's time to get in the fold. This is 2022. This is a divine time. And we are masters of our domain. We should treat it as such. This is how you take your power back in 2022. Peace and blessing, family. Until the next video, until the next class.